Here, you want some? You want a candy? Or you want popcorn? Which one?
Popcorn.
Okay. Here, you can sit here.
Okay.
Rob, you just know when to get started.
Yeah, Facebook's live, so you guys can start.
Oh, all right, perfect. Hello, everyone, North Vocational family, all the North Vocational students. I'm so happy that you can make it here, their parents and the teachers. Thank you all for joining us. This is Teacher Appreciation for the teachers and all the North Vocational students and their parents that we are able to have the amazing, the one-of-a-kind, the only magician David Blaine, and we are just so happy to have you here, and it's a pleasure for you to bring some message and some positive energy to all the staff and the students and the parents. We just really, really appreciate you joining us.
So there's probably going to be some audio issues. So
Please, sure everyone is on mute.
I think that fixed it. Yeah, good.
Yes.
Great. So how you guys all doing? What can you? Hey, I think Kyle, you're going to lead with this, right?
Excuse me, again, please.
Are we going to start with questions, or you want to just talk? And with the best?
You can start off. Definitely start off telling us a little bit. Start off talking a little bit, and then we'll go to questions as they pop up.
So I'll tell everybody basically how I got into magic. I think that's kind of a pretty interesting and related to this talk. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Lived in New Jersey when I was 10. Moved around a bunch. I lived in Brooklyn, New York, and started doing magic in a library at the age of 5. The way that worked out was my mother was a school teacher, and she worked a few jobs, and she was a single mother. So in order to get to the school that I studied at and then to come back, I'd have to take the subway. Often I would wait for her at the library until she finished work so she could pick me up there. And she gave me a deck of cards, which I carried everywhere. So I had a deck of cards and I carried it. And I'll show you guys something before we get, off with this. But I carried it everywhere that I went. And that deck of cards was the most important thing that I had. It was something that kids didn't play with. And we didn't have toys and things. We had kind of educational toys. So I had like wooden blocks I could create and build, or had paper and things to draw, Legos, things like that. But the deck of cards felt different. Felt like something no other kid had. So I carried it everywhere and treasured it. And while I was waiting for her at the library, the librarian said, "Oh, we just got this simple book of self-working magic tricks, a mathematical principle. Maybe I could teach it to you." So I learned this really basic card trick at the age of 5. And when I showed it to my mom, she went crazy. Like, she thought it was the most amazing thing ever. It wasn't, but she was just that excited that when I would do something. So her confidence, her belief that what I was doing was amazing, and never wrote it off and acted like it was some kid thing. She acted like it was really great and amazing. So I just kept wanting to learn new things to break up her day. So when she picked me up at the end of a long, hard day of work, I would do a new trick and I'd make her happy. So it was kind of like that was my beginning of my love of doing magic and performing. At the same time, in the library, I started looking at other books, and I loved reading and I loved looking at kids' books and things like that, Curious George and all those types of books. But I found Harry Houdini. And Houdini was a guy that could hold his breath underwater for 3.5 minutes, and he could do all these superhuman physical feats. And I didn't have a father figure, so Harry Houdini was basically somebody I really looked at as a father figure. And I started, even though I had feet turned in, so I couldn't keep up with the other kids running or swimming, I would wait at the YMCA. I was on the swim team around that age as well, 6 years old. And because my legs were turned, I couldn't swim as fast, so I would just swim straight. And I learned basically how to control my body with my mind at that age, because I knew that if you kept swimming and didn't have to turn your head to breathe, you could actually go faster than the kids that are just learning how to turn their head to breathe. And that was the evolution of me loving to do things that were real, that were the body is the magic, and then simple magic with a deck of cards. Any questions?
So one of the things that I spoke to you yesterday is that during time with Corona, we've had to reinvent ourselves and we've had to adapt to the times. And I just wanted to, so there's a question that came, so I won't even keep going. I'll go with the question. Someone said, where in New Jersey did you live?
So when we first moved there, we moved into Totowa, which is on the border of Patterson and Totowa. So you might have not heard of Totowa. Patterson is on the border of it. I was actually right on the border. And then I moved to a town called Little Falls. I went to a high school there called Passaic Valley. But I had a lot of friends in Newark. So I'd go to Newark, the guys that I worked with as well. And then we'd go, visit our friends. And, I spent time during high school years visiting Newark quite a bit. Then I had a friend, unfortunately, that had bone cancer, so I went to their big hospital there and go visit her all the time. But I moved around a bunch, so yeah, I had lots of friends back then. So most of my friends I have to this day, they're the kids I grew up with that were in Brooklyn, or the kids I knew when I moved to New Jersey at first, and just a couple of them. One thing that I, always did was I always chose people to surround myself with that would inspire me or that I could learn from. So I always picked people that I found something that was like, oh, this guy's a good inspiration, and, tried to learn and absorb. But so what you were saying about the Corona is, yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that we're best at is adaptation. And, we've evolved for 1.5 million years, and there's been many viruses that have come along and have done lots to affect. And I think the best thing to do is to follow the rules and do the best that you can to adhere to what is the right message. But at the same time, how often do you have time to be creative, alone time to really think about what you want to do, to reinvent the way you think, to read interesting stuff, to come up with new games? For me, coming up with new magic. So a lot of people might look at this and say, oh, this is a devastation, which of course it is. But there's another way to look at it and say, wow, like the planet for the first time, the ozone is clearing up. My friends that live in San Francisco can see through the water for the first time. The canals are full of fish for the first time. So, there is some sort of good that comes out of every bad on some level, or at least you can make it into that. So I've never been in the mindset of take the worst and make it the worst. I've always been in the mindset of when the worst comes, you have to turn it into the best that you can.
Okay. We have more questions coming up here. I see some students. Jamila, she has a question. What's the trick frog coming out of your mouth? That still shocks me till this day. I'm pretty sure you're not going to tell us any of the tricks, but that's a lot of the questions on here. But a good one comes from Cassandra. Have you ever felt like you're stuck on a magic trick?
I always get that. You always have the struggle, and it's difficult and it's stuck, and you try and you fail, but guess what? When you keep trying and you keep failing, but you keep working to get better, eventually that trick becomes your best trick. So, sure, you get stuck, but getting stuck or even going backwards is the only way that you build the muscles to get stronger. So you can imagine if you were always going down a hill, it would be really easy. but it's when you go up the hill that you build those leg muscles and you get stronger, so that when you have to go back down, you take a little break and you go back up, and eventually you could keep getting higher and higher and higher. So that's how I look at everything.
One of the questions is more of a statement, and I echo that when this is all over, you definitely have an open invite to Newark Vocational High School for sure. We have a culinary arts program, so you'll eat well when you come to visit us.
That's always a good invitation.
We have a question from Celia. So,
Ever
I'm
received
sorry, go ahead.
negative comments? I saw, did you ever receive negative comments? And of course, anybody that's doing something interesting or different is always going to have the haters, you know, the people that want to comment negatively. But guess what? That's when you push harder and you believe in yourself and you keep trying for being the best that you can be. Not the best in the world. Just try to be the best that you can be, a better version of yourself each day, because better has no ceiling. So better, you can keep trying to get better and better and better, and that never ends. So you never want to be good. You just always want to be better. But yeah, you know, you can't listen to the noise, because if you listen, everybody says, oh, you can't do it. Some people that I really look up to, like the Michael Jordans of the world or the LeBron James, they're told they definitely can't do it. Michael Jordan got cut from his team, you know, but he said, that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm going to be better. I'm going to work harder, work longer, and that's it, you know.
So if the students can actually unmute, because I don't want to necessarily ask all the questions, I definitely want them to have a little bit of interaction with you for sure. If they can unmute themselves as we see what questions come up, if you could just read off a name and have that person ask the question, if that's okay.
Okay, but I don't see the whole question. I just see the name and then like a little fragment of the question.
Okay, you can read off the name then.
Okay.
David, if you click on the little chat, then the whole chat will pull up on their side, and then you can see all the questions.
In the chat. Oh. Ah, okay, got it. So on the right side, you mean? He's giving a message. Does he come from? Yeah, I come from a single parent household until I was 10 years old. It was just my mother, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. We didn't have much, but I had love, I had support and confidence. So even though my mother passed away before my success, I never needed her to see me succeed, because I knew that she already knew. So that's nice. So it's like, you know, once again, love and support and curiosity from your mother, and encouraging your curiosity is the most valuable present that you can be given. So I had, you know, when I started traveling the world with magic and becoming successful, I started meeting lots of kids that grew up and their parents gave them everything as far as cars and things that I never had. But guess what? Their parents didn't give them the confidence and the support, or just one person just giving you the, yeah, it's okay. I believe that you can do whatever you want to do. And that's what I had, which was the best gift I could have been given. The science department can work with you to do some science. Oh, that's great. Have you ever, have you ever, I think this is Dariana, but I don't know if it's, is the name after the question or before? It must be after. So have you ever felt like giving up on magic, from Joshua Cohn? No, magic was always my passion. I just never knew that it would become my vocation, which I'm lucky that it did, but magic has always been my passion. So no matter what, where I go, what I do, I've always loved doing magic, and I'm always doing it. And, you know, I always do it out of love and passion. So I'm never really doing it as a business. So I'm lucky that I get to keep working on it and trying more and more. But again, I'm not, you know, somebody that would ever give that up. Let's see what other ones says. What things, some of your magic tricks have caused you a near scare. Does this ever change your career thoughts or want to discourage your daughter from wanting to get involved in? And that's from Asijen's mom, I think. Well, my daughter's right here. You want to say hi? Say, so my daughter's right here. So yeah, we do things very carefully. We work hard. We never jump into them, and that's how I approach the magic as well. So we've been riding bikes, climbing rock walls, and doing things. And it's always, you start slow. You never you take baby steps so you can keep slowly getting better to keep your confidence up. And when you do fall, you get back up. How do you feel when you do magic? Just when I do magic, it's ironic because it's almost meditative when I'm doing the things that I classically do. When I'm working on new things, it's working and developing always. So I don't really get emotional about it. It's just more like a peaceful, a tranquility almost. Which magic trick took you so long to learn? The breath holding, because I started holding my breath when I was 5 or 6, and I'm still doing it to this day. The longest I've ever gone was 20 minutes and 2 seconds with doctors and scientists around, and they had telemetry, and I was underwater. Heartbeat dropped to 8 beats per minute, so that was a pretty crazy one. Do you guys want to see a trick really quick?
Sure.
First, I'll do one that we can kind of do to everybody, and then I'll try one that so first we'll do one that you can all participate in. So can you all see the cards pretty well? Can everybody see the deck? Everybody can see? Here, let me do it. Yes, Kyle, can you see?
So I'm having tech issues on my side, so you could go ahead and go.
Oh, everybody's writing yes, so that's good. I can see.
Yes.
Okay, so look, not the ace of spades, but I want you to think of one inside, the number, the color, and the suit. I'll riffle through and you try to see one, but don't say it. Everybody just try to see one inside. Number, color, and suit. Tell me if you all got one. Did everybody get one? Okay, good. Don't say it. Just think of your card. So I know that this one is not your card. I know it's not this card, so I'm going to use this card because this is not your card. Correct? That's not it. But imagine this is your card. Oh, yeah. See? Yeah, I see everybody saying, oh my God. Yes. Is there somebody that can put their audio on that I can try a trick to, that we can do it together at the end before we finish up? Just one person you choose?
Yeah.
It's random? Okay, so how about this?
No,
I'm gonna give everybody some logic puzzles. And the person that gets the last one right, I'm gonna give you guys, I'll do the trick with that person, they can put their audio on. So I'll give some fun logic puzzles. That, and by the way, logic puzzles is very similar to magic because it's like thinking about things where there's no solution. With magic, the stuff that I work on, it's not like you can go get a book or somebody teaches you. You have to hear an idea, believe that somebody else had done it once, and then work diligently backwards to try to figure it out by trial and error. That's a lot of what I do. And logic is also math. It's science, it's math, it's so I'm going to give you guys some fun, simple ones first, okay? So between 1 and 100, there's 100 numbers. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 100. Take out the picture cards or the number cards. It's up to you.
I'll take out the picture cards.
Okay, good. So now you're holding the picture cards. Which one do you want to take out? The jack, the queen, or the king? You take the one that you want. It's up to you. I don't care. And you can change your mind.
The jack.
Are you sure?
No, the queen.
Okay, the queen is the obvious one. I don't want you to think I made you do queen. So if you want to change again, you can. Or you can keep the queen, or you can go back to the jack, or you can go to the king.
No, I'll keep the queen.
You're sure?
Yes.
Now in the queen, there's 4 of them. There's clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. Which one do you want? And again, when you say it, you can change your mind. Which one do you want?
The heart.
You want the queen of hearts?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
You can change.
Okay, no, I'll keep it.
I've been holding this deck in full view. Look, I'm going to take the cards out, and you said 1 card, correct? Look, I'm taking the deck out so you can see everything. Yes?
Yes.
The cards? Now look, in the deck of cards, see how there's 1 card that's different.
Oh my God.
Well, wait, I have to tell you something, Juanita. See this card? The Queen of Hearts is also the only card in the deck that's red.
What?
But Juanita, it's also the only card that you could have chosen because the rest of this deck is not playing cards. It's have nothing on it. It's a blank deck.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we want to do one more question before I sign off? And then hopefully when the corona passes, I'll hopefully find an afternoon or something to come visit everybody. That would be great.
That would be great. Before you do one more trick or take on one more question rather, can you just explain to the students and staff how many hours you put in? Because there's always talk about how many hours that you need for mastery. How much time do you put in for your craft?
So I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to allow my daughter to show you something. So she works more diligently than I do. And a few days ago, we started just playing with doubling the number 2. I wanted to see how far she could go doubling the number 2. So in a couple of days, now come. Yeah. Come. No, but I just want to show you, this is the amount of work we put in. She started this 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So go ahead. Here, come, start.
2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,048, 4,096, 8,192, 16,384, 32,768, 65,536, 131,072,
And do one more.
262,144, and 524,188. 200.
Yeah.
288.
Yes. Wow. So that's the real magic. But the real magic, it seems like it's just magic, but Dessa worked very hard and worked with her. And hard work is also working with your mind. And she's, so that's what it is. It's working relentlessly, trying really hard. And she did 2 to the 19th power. So that's what card magic is. It's exactly that. And everybody says, oh, she's not going to be good at math. And it's just, it's not like she was born with a gift. It's just that we made it fun. We found something and worked on it, and the hard work makes sense. They said Einstein wasn't the top of the class. He was actually booted from school when he was 5, but he worked hard. Stephen Hawking, he said he wasn't meant to be, anywhere near where he was, but when he had the disease, he realized life was short. He was going to work really hard on developing his brain and became one of the smartest theoretic, thinkers in the world, talking about black holes and coming up with things that nobody could have even entertained the idea of. So I think, one part of it is the fearlessness. The other is the diligence. The other is working hard on something and getting through it to improve. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
All right. There's a lot of questions in regards to you coming to the school, but is there a more specific question that a student has for David Blaine? We have some shy students here. Here's your chance. Okay, here we go. Oh, how are you surviving? I guess she tried to type real fast. How are you surviving this quarantine?
Cassandra Fuentes. So surviving the quarantine is, I'm lucky because I'm with my daughter, and we make best with what we can. We exercise together for the first time. Every day we do a minimum 20-minute workout, which includes squatting, planking, push-ups, sit-ups, and then we play games together, so it's not all work. We work on magic. We read books. We're currently reading The Old Man and the Sea, and she does school every morning, online school. So, luckily, I'm with her. That's the best thing that I could have asked for, and like I said, using this time in a special way.
All right. As long as I know you said you have something else to get to, but there's more questions coming up, so we're on your time.
Yeah, we'll do one more question, and then I have a 5:30 conference as well. So we'll do one more. It's 5:30 now here, so we'll do one more.
All right. So there's some good questions in here. Dalia. Dalia, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hello, how are you? My question was, do you have any favorite tricks that other magicians have done?
There's a lot of them, yeah. And there's guys that took the secrets to the grave, and then there's other tricks that are guys that I know that I go and meet with, and there's so many great magicians out there. Like in any field, there's just people that are amazing across the board. So yeah, yes, yeah, and they're mine.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody, and thank you for having me. And hopefully, one day when all this clears out, it'd be a great pleasure if I had the time to come visit. So let's hope that works out.
Thank you. We really appreciate this. You can see the excitement from how many comments are coming up on the chat. This is going to go a long way for myself, the students and the staff, and their parents. And so we really appreciate it, and we thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. And keep
All
doing
right.
great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Now, I'm going to give you my signature ending that the students and the staff are very familiar with.
Okay.
And as always, enjoy your day.
Thank you. Enjoy your day too. Thank you.